The favour and pleasure of Allah, a simple shepherd in the Arabian Peninsula, was happier on the inside than was Tolstoy. Why? The first led a simple, unaffected life, knowing where he was going in this life and in the hereafter. The second never satisfied his desires fully, and had no idea of where he was going. Muslims have what is the greatest remedy that mankind has ever known. It is the belief in what has been divinely preordained. A belief that I have discoursed often throughout this book. And for a purpose I know that I and others who are similar to me believe in the Islamic concept of preordainment. When things go according to our liking, but we tend to complain when things go against our inclinations. This is why an article and condition of our faith is to believe in preordainment, the good of it and the bad of it, when it is sweet. When it is sweet. Where was I? When it is sweet and when it is bitter. A guidance and natural consequence of belief. Here are some stories that pertain to preordainment. Bodily authored. Many books include The Messenger. In 1918, he settled in northwest Africa among a group of nomadic desert people. These were Muslims who prayed, fasted, and remembered Allah. He later wrote about some of his experiences with them. This is how he begins one particular narrative. One day a strong sandstorm began gathering force. The vicious winds destroyed much, and the heat was so intense that I felt the roots of my scalp burning. During this experience I felt that I was on the brink of madness. To my astonishment, though the Arabs did not complain at all, they shook their shoulders with resignation and said that it was something that was written for them and preordained forthwith. They returned to their daily labor with vigor. The head of the tribe said, "We didn't lose much if you consider that we deserve to lose everything. But all praise and thanks are for Allah. We still have 40% of our livestock and we are capable of starting afresh." He related the following about another incident. As we were traveling through the desert in a car, we had a flat tire, and to make things worse, the driver had forgotten to take along a spare one. I was overcome with both anger and worry. I asked my Arab companions what we were going to do. They calmly reminded me that anger was not going to help the situation, but rather was more likely to aggravate it. We were moving at an excruciatingly slow pace on 3 good tires and on one flat. it wasn't long before the car stopped altogether, and not because of the tyre situation, but because we had also run out of fuel. Even when this happened, my travelling companions remained undisturbed. Furthermore, they cheerfully recommenced the journey on foot, while singing in unison. After spending 7 years in the desert with the Arab nomads, I became thoroughly convinced that the widespread European and American problems of drunkenness, mental sickness, and depression were the results of a fast-paced city life. He also said, I never felt any stress at all while I was living in the desert. I felt that I was in God's paradise. I felt that I had discovered peace, tranquility, and contentment. Many people scoff at the fantastic beliefs of the Arabs. But who knows, maybe the Arabs have with them the truth. After all, for as I reminisce about the past, it becomes clear to me that my life was composed of disjointed periods that were the results of events, or happenings that were pushed onto me without my having any choice. The Arabs refer to these events as being Allah's preordainment and decree. In summary, 17 years have elapsed since I left the desert, and I still take the stance of the Arabs regarding Allah's preordainment and decree. I respond to events that are out of my control with serenity, calmness, and composure. This quality that I learned from the Arabs has done more to calm my nerves and lower my level of stress than thousands of prescription sedative pills can do to commitment on the words of Bodley. I would first like to mention that the source of truth with the desert Arabs was the messenger of Allah, Muhammad. The substance of his message was to save people from hopeless wandering, to take them out of darkness and bring them into light. His noble message contained the secret to peace and salvation, namely to recognize that Allah predestined everything, while at the same time every person must work and do their best to reach their desired goals. The noble message of Islam came to show you your place in the universe, so that you can be the ideal person who knows the secret and purpose of human existence, the middle course. Thus we have made you true believers, a just and the best nation. Happiness is found between two extremes, excess and negligence. The middle course is the divinely prescribed way that saves us from the clear falsehood of two extremes. For instance, the extremes of Judaism and Christianity. Jews had with them knowledge, but they discarded action. Christians worshipped excessively, but they abandoned the divine knowledge that was